The acrid stench of fresh paint hit my nose at dawn, mixed with the screech of metal mailboxes being rattled. I opened my door to find a neon notice plastered across it. The HOA demanded I repaint my house. They claimed my soft sandstone color lowered neighborhood value. My stomach twisted as if someone had trespassed into my very skin. Neighbors whispered, glancing with smug pity, while the HOA president smirked like a queen, surveying her throne. I felt the heat of humiliation scorch my cheeks. They wanted to strip me of my pride, my peace, my home. But as they strutted away, laughing about dropping property prices, I clutched the notice tightly. What they didn't know, what none of them knew, was that I held the keys to every sale, every deed, and every valuation in this market. Years earlier, I had clawed my way up from nothing. Late nights, countless open houses, endless deals signed beneath flickering fluorescent lights. Real estate wasn't just my career. It was my blood, my empire. This house, modest but beautiful, had been my first victory after years of grinding. My family gathered here for holidays, my children's laughter echoing through its halls, the garden blooming with every memory I had built. To me, this property was more than stucco, and shingles was proof that I had made it. And now, the HOA wanted to strip me of that proof, branding it an eyesore. I felt the weight of every sacrifice, every client I had fought for, resting on this one battle. And just when I thought they would back off, the first fine slipped under my door, a bold, arrogant move that set the war in motion. The harassment rolled in like a storm. Thick envelopes slapped against my mailbox weekly, each fine more outrageous than the last. They complained of non-regulation roses that perfumed the air too strongly, of improper fence shade that allegedly cast shadows across their pristine lawns. At night, I heard the scrape of nails against my siding. Petty sabotage meant to rattle me. My trash cans were mysteriously toppled, leaving rancid stench baking under the sun. They posted false notices online, whispering that I was bankrupt, desperate, unfit to live among them. The HOA president's shrill voice echoed during meetings, accusing me of dragging down everyone's investment. My frustration thickened into rage. My neighbors' whispers, pressing like knives against my back. Every sensory detail was a reminder that I was under siege. Yet, beneath the fury, I began to smile. They had no idea I was preparing my countermove. What they didn't realize was that their supposed enemy was the very broker controlling their fate. Every sale, every valuation, every whisper of market worth passed through my hands. Quietly, I began to gather file deeds, listings, records of inflated fees. I reached out to clients who'd fled the neighborhood, collecting testimony of HOA abuse. A contractor friend confirmed they had illegally inflated maintenance charges. A local journalist sniffed at the trail of corruption, intrigued by the story's scent. Neighbors who once avoided me now leaned closer, whispering their own frustrations. Like domino, his doubt began to spread. I stood silently, letting their arrogance build higher, knowing the crash would be brutal. With evidence mounting, the HOA's empire of intimidation started to tremble. And when a camera crew pulled into the cul-de-sac, flashing lights across smug faces, I knew the turning point had arrived. The HOA panicked, striking harder than ever. In a midnight stunt, they staggered an emergency vote to seize my property, slapping illegal foreclosure papers against my door. Spray paint dripped across my garage. Sell now or leave. Their desperation reeked like rot, staining their perfect day. But I was ready. As dawn broke, I arrived at the meeting with stacks of files, cameras rolling, journalists perched like hawks. I revealed every deed, every client complaint, every inflated fee they had hidden. The smirk strained from their faces as I explained that the supposed devaluation of the neighborhood came directly from their corruption. My title as the region's top broker thundered through the room. Sheriff deputies entered, armed with warrants. The crowd gasped. Neighbors leaned forward, and the HOA's crown began to crumble. Justice was finally within reach. In the days that followed, their empire collapsed. The HOA president was led away in handcuffs. Mascara streaking his cameras captured her downfall. Board members scattered, bank accounts frozen, reputations shredded. My property, it stood untouched, its sandstone glow suddenly praised as classic and market boosting. Families who had suffered in silence stepped forward, relief washing through the neighborhood. Property values soared, not because of their tyranny, but because of our unity. I invested part of my victory into a community fund, gardens, repairs, scholarships for local kids. My children played in the yard, laughter mixing with the warm scent of roses. Peace restored at last. As the sun dipped behind the rooftops, painting the sky gold, I smiled. Tell me, what would you do if your HOA tried to take everything from you? And have you ever faced a Karen like this? Subscribe for more.